For centuries, humanity has divided the search for truth into two distinct camps. On one side, we have empirical science, built on hard data and rigorous testing. On the other, abstract philosophy, dealing in logic, ethics, and meaning. We tend to treat these two disciplines as complete opposites. We picture the lab-coated empiricist running calculations, standing in stark contrast to the moody, abstract thinkers pacing ancient courtyards. Yet, if you look closely at the people doing the work, the boundary blurs. Theoretical physicists regularly confront existential dilemmas about the nature of time, while modern ethicists build their arguments on the latest findings in quantum mechanics. The constant crossover between these fields suggests our habit of categorizing them as bitter rivals is flawed. The dividing line isn't a wall at all. In the early 20th century, a mathematician and philosopher named Bertrand Russell offered a sharper way to look at this relationship. He proposed a deceptively simple definition. Science is the territory of what we know, and philosophy is the territory of what we don't know. Under this framework, the two disciplines operate as a single, continuous pipeline of human knowledge. They aren't fighting over the same ground. They are operating at different stages of discovery. Visualize an epistemological boundary. Left is the bright zone of verified science. Right is the dark unknown. As we develop sharper instruments, that glowing line pushes right, consuming the darkness. Philosophy is the scout, venturing past the light to formulate new questions. Without that abstract imagination mapping the darkness first, the empirical machinery of science would have no specific target to aim for. We can see this border crossing happen directly in the 17th century. When Isaac Newton published his laws of gravity and motion, he wasn't submitting a physics paper. His master work was titled The Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy. Newton took the abstract mysteries of how objects move and pinned them down with rigorous mathematics. He formalized the philosophical unknown, dragging it directly into the realm of empirical fact. 300 years later, this border advanced again, this time on the microscopic level. For millennia, the idea of a fundamental, indivisible building block of matter was nothing but an abstract thought experiment debated by ancient Greek thinkers. That concept remained entirely theoretical until the early 20th century, when researchers finally engineered the hard tools required to observe and eventually split the atom. Physical technology acts as the essential engine. Once we invent the machinery to measure an idea, it permanently graduates out of philosophy and becomes science. Fast forward to the present day. Empirical science has thoroughly mapped and quantified the vast majority of our visible physical world. Because this territory of verified knowledge is now so incredibly vast, the borderline has been pushed out into the absolute deepest, most extreme fringes of reality. We are now left grappling with questions that stretch the limits of our comprehension. We are trying to isolate the exact biological and physical mechanics that create human consciousness. We are probing the limits of our own technology, asking if a sufficiently advanced artificial intelligence could ever develop true sentience or possess a soul. And we are winding the clock backward past the origins of the universe, trying to deduce what actually existed before the Big Bang. Right now, we lack the instruments to objectively measure these concepts. Without hard data, they remain firmly trapped in the dark void of philosophy. But we shouldn't view these existential questions as permanently unsolvable mysteries. They are simply the pending scientific discoveries of tomorrow. The exact moment humanity engineers the right measurement tools, those elusive ideas will immediately cross the border into empirical fact. Until those instruments are built, we have to rely on our ability to wonder. Philosophy remains our most vital scout, navigating the dark to figure out where the light should point next. Which major philosophical mystery do you think science will solve first? Let me know your predictions in the comments below, and subscribe for more explorations into the unknown.